Zeidoktor here, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review will be dedicated to My Hero Academia, Chapter 133, Chase Kirishima. Everybody's panicking over the fact that a hero just got shot, but Amajiki's just getting like, less than I thought it would. Whoa, you're okay, that's cool! Which leaves the thug who shot the bullet wondering what the hell's wrong with that gun he fired. But when Amajiki tries to retaliate, all of a sudden he can't activate his quirk. Kirishima runs ahead, like he chases after the guy. Fat Gum tries to tell him, like, don't be too hasty. If you get carried away, you might end up in a bad situation. Sun Eater, if you're okay, we'll leave this area to you. Other heroes should be arriving soon. Cooperate with them. At which point Sun Eater tells him that he's not injured, but his quirk won't activate. Which certainly makes Fat Gum stop in his tracks, making him wonder if they have a power like eraser heads. I have to admit, originally I had that line kind of messed me up a little bit for interpreting this chapter, because another version of it said a quirky eraser, which made me wonder if the idea of something that can undo quirks even temporarily was not that new. But then I remembered Eraserhead, they've got him, and the line actually references him directly, so that was me. Kirishima actually is still pursuing the guy. But the guy's screaming, don't stop following me, stay away! Hey, stop running, at the very least, shouldn't you be trying to save your friends? You're just gonna leave them behind. You're the one shooting people and now you're getting scared of running away, man up! But he manages to chase the guy into a dead end. At this point, the guy yells at him to shut the hell up. This time, he has spines across his arm, which apparently is quirk. He attacks, but they don't really do that much against him, Kirishima's skin. So instead, he just launches a punch, red counter. He held back so as not to actually seriously hurt him, but it's like, he does knock him down, but then the guy starts crying. He's crying. Not fair. All I've got are these blades that don't even extend past 10 centimeters. They're just like box cutters. It's not fair. Of course I want to save my brothers. But I'm scared. Why don't you compliment me for having the courage to shoot in the first place? Besides, if you're going to break out in tears and talk like that, you really shouldn't be getting mixed up in this stuff anyway. The guy's like, I wanted to become strong. If I'm hanging around strong people, then I can become strong too. I get how you feel, but if I stick with my brothers, then I'll be granted power. And before Kirishima can react, the guy actually slips the thing out of his sleeve and injects himself in the neck. I don't want to be someone like you who could become a hero to talk like you know what it's like. At which point he starts screaming. Kirishima tries to help him. What are you doing? What was that stuff? Are you okay? And then all of a sudden, his entire body just sprouts blades, which drew a lot of comparisons to the Moonfist, the guy from the training camp battles. Kirishima's just getting all kinds of smackdown, but fortunately, he's equipped for that sort of thing. The police are giving Sun Eater thank you. These guys sell illegal drugs and paraphernalia, so this is the opportunity we were looking for. Then, at which point Sun Eater asks if that's the reason why his quirk won't activate, because they had one of those items. But then one of the guys die, you piece of trash, which sends Amajiki just into the wall. You can leave the rest to us, the cop. Kirishima, Fat, I have a bad feeling about this. Back in the alley where Kirishima was, the guy's just popping blades all over the place, just tearing everything up. Kirishima's looking pretty bad, but and he's remembering he'd heard stuff about this on the news, which makes me wonder, which has made a lot of people wonder if this is going to be intersecting with the illegals, the spin-off. Let's see here, because that was also about a quirk that could, or a drug that powers up quirks that the characters have to deal with. Sorry, got distracted for a second. And then, Kirishima's looking at the guy freaking out, worrying, because if he does what he just did again on some big road, that's gonna be bad. He orders everybody get down and take cover somewhere the blades can't reach, because he's got to bring an end to it right here. But the guy says that blades are so strong that they can cut him even with his hardening activated. The guy's just screaming how cocky the brat got. Got all self-important with your game of make-believe justice. My brother's told me already the time for heroes is gonna crumble. The time of a social outcast is next. You heard me. All this has gotten me feeling some kind of high. Move it, Brett. Looks like I'm gonna be able to do exactly as you said. And say my brothers. And then we see Kirishima talking to someone. He's like, with your hardening, instead of trying to come up with some crafty tricks, some sort of brute force technique might be better for you. And Kirishima thinks that's something that All Might told him. But when I think about it, I don't have a technique that allows me to compete with you guys. Like he's talking to Kaminari and Bakugo, and a couple others are there too. You guys have all middle and long range attack, distance and ranged attacks, and with the exception of Kaminari, therefore better mobility. I've got nothing like that. And at point, this point, Kaminari's like yelling, like, "Hey, I'm not gonna charge your phone for you anymore." Even now, after all I've got going for me is pretty lackluster. And if everyone's going to move on and turn pro after this, then what can I do to keep up with y'all? Zero knows that he's like surprisingly down on himself over this. Like, I'm not crying about it. I'm just contemplating. Bakugo's like, what are you talking about? Keeping up? Back at the sports festival, you were saying you'd be the horse that wouldn't crumple, didn't you? And all that time with All Might at Kamino, all the way to the very end. How he didn't break. That was strong as hell, wasn't it? And back in the present, he's like, Kirishima was like pushing his power to the limit, like more, even more, both body and spirit, harder, harden, become an unbreakable wall. And we see him like his body becoming harder and stronger, and he's looking a little bit more bestial too. And he actually managed to break most of the blades that are attacking him. Like, which shocks the guy he's fighting. He's like, the crowd is the result of the compressed quirk strengthening training. Maximum hardness level. Red right unbreakable. And he does look like pretty monsters right there, but that's where the chapter ends. This was a nice little spot for Kirishima. I was thinking before, like, it seemed like he'd been getting some spotlight as it was, but this changed my mind. He's like, this is a good thing for him. I also like the fact that Bakugo is like actually giving him advice without being a dick about it. I mean, it's Bakugo, that's what you expect out of him, but he's like giving him good tips, or at least encouraging him. Still, the whole thing about that, where rather than fancy techniques relying on your power instead, that actually reminds me of Hunter x Hunter. It's like people with enhancement and then like people with enhancement power versus like other types, they just, what the name says, they enhance themselves, they make themselves more physically powerful in some way. And that they're actually when one of the characters gone is that same kind of issue, like feeling like he's lacking techniques, lagging behind. Like he's told that their type of end user doesn't even rely on that normally anyway. So rather than worry about that, just go ahead and focus on general power. Still, Gon does come up with techniques of his own anyway, but they kind of rely on like a mix of variety of attacks. So that's what that kind of reminded me of, that little moment on there. Still, it looks like they like the little bit of where like the guy easily intimidates Amajiki. It's like, poor guy. Like, some people are like, he's obviously driven to be a hero, but dang. Wonder where Fatcom went on this one. Did he go after Kirishima after all, or did he stay with Amajiki? Lost track of him after like he was surprised about the whole quirky racing thing. Still, for the most part, this was definitely Kirishima's chapter. I mean, the worst thing, I think at worst he did kind of like rush ahead more than he should have. So there's definitely something there that he's probably gonna get chewed out for later. Still, when push came to shove, like one, he actually tries to like talk the guy down rather than just fight directly. When that fails, like he's warning people, he's getting people out of the way, like he's basically being the shield for them. He's kind of going all armored titan on it, actually, come to think of it. And it's like, so this was a good chapter. I especially like how it brings Bakugo like into like a decent human being. So like when it's not Deku, he can actually be a nice guy. I said, this is a good chapter. I said Bakugo got development in a way. We see what he's like when he's not dealing with Deku. Kirishima got development, which is also cool. Like Kirishima especially got development, I should say. And we'll get a nice little JoJo joke out of it, like Red Right is unbreakable. So I love how like he really does look like pretty monstrous, like you're like all bestial. It's like somewhere like the Stain, like the Thing versus and Stain combined or something, like Ben Grimm and Stain. I don't know if this fight's gonna go on for much longer after the next chapter. It'll probably like maybe it's like maybe the first couple pages. I do wonder if he's gonna get chewed out for rushing ahead like he did, like going all Leroy about it. But at the same time, hey, he did a good job nonetheless. So I'm gonna go ahead and call the review at that point on there. Like I said, this is definitely a cool chapter. Like I said, this was My Hero Academia chapter 133. Chase Kirishima, and Chase he does. See, next week we'll be back next week, and we should have more One Piece that time around too. So until then, you have a good day, and bye bye.